25 al-Qaeda-linked militants have reportedly been killed by an airstrike in Iraq, where government forces are on the offensive against Islamist insurgency. The violence is being fueled by the conflict in neighboring Syria, with militants apparently surging back and forth across the border. At the center of the fight in Iraq is the city of Fallujah, as Gayane Chichakyan now reports.
Residents of Fallujah, who'd seen hell during the U.S. occupation, now face their own army's assault on the city. The Iraqi government has lined up tanks and loaded fighter jets, preparing to drive al-Qaeda-linked militants out of the city. The U.S. is packing more Hellfire missiles and other weapons for the Iraqi army to use, and everybody knows when the bombing begins, there will be blood. Brian Becker with me. Brian, so many innocent Iraqis have died in terror attacks. Do you think this anti-terror assault could turn out to be just as deadly as terror itself?
It could be even more deadly. The people of Fallujah have been through this before. In 2004, twice, the U.S. Marines committed huge war crimes against the people of Fallujah. They called Fallujah a kill zone. Anything that moved was killed. When you declare a kill zone, you say everything that moves must die. Everything that moves must be a terrorist. Everything that moves is a legitimate target. Who then dies? Who then suffers? It's the people of Fallujah themselves. Of course they don't want to live under al-Qaeda, but do they want to live under these kind of military assaults paid for by the United States, with arms from the United States carried out by the Maliki government, which has also been brutal against the residents in Fallujah? I don't think so.
Crucial question. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. No doubt there is an urgent need to drive these militants out. After all, how can you allow extremists to run towns, gain territory, expand? But then you also have to ask, if you see bombing as a viable option in order to drive extremists out of residential areas, how different is it from what Bashar Assad is doing? In Washington, I'm Gayane Chichakyan, RT.
The conflict in neighboring Syria has helped fan the sectarian tensions in Iraq. Some observers blame Washington for paving the way to the strife that's engulfed the country.
It's clearly the result of the U.S. war in Iraq that has given way to the kind of sectarian fighting we're seeing in Iraq. You know, the existence of these sectarian-based political parties, the Shia-led leadership in Iraq, led by Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, was put in power and remains kept in power by the United States, who provides the money, the arms to keep his government in power. That government has been not only incredibly corrupt and not only incredibly incompetent in terms of dealing with the needs of Iraq to rebuild from these years of war, but also has been incredibly sectarian in terms of what it makes accessible to various communities in Iraq. So you have this scenario where the Sunni population, which is the minority but large minority in Iraq, feel completely disenfranchised, disempowered, disconnected from their own government,